9 tools that make OpenAI Codex 100 times more powerful. 3 million weekly active users. Over 90 plugins. But most people are using Codex like a basic chatbot. Type a prompt, get some code, hope it works. The engineers who are shipping 10 times faster know something you don't. They've wired Codex into their entire stack. Error monitoring, issue tracking, browser testing, live documentation, automated security scanning. This video shows you the 9 tools that actually matter, how to set each one up, and why they transform Codex from a coding assistant into a full engineering system. Comment tools for the complete setup guide. Before we dive into the 9 tools, let's understand how Codex plugins work. A plugin bundles three things: skills, which are reusable instructions for specific workflows; app connections, which link Codex to services like GitHub, Slack, Google Drive, Linear; and MCP servers, which give Codex access to external tools and documentation. Instead of configuring each piece separately, you install one plugin and everything works together. You can browse and install plugins directly from the Codex app, the CLI with /plugins, or through the IDE extension. OpenAI ships 12 official plugins. Plus, the community has built over 80 more. Let's look at the 9 that change everything. Tool number 1: Sentry plugin. This connects Codex directly to your production error monitoring. Codex reads your Sentry dashboard, triages errors by severity, identifies the root cause in your codebase, and generates a fix. Think about what this means. A production error fires at 2 a.m. Sentry catches it. Codex reads the stack trace, finds the exact file and line, understands the context, writes a patch, and has a pull request ready before you wake up. No more bleary eyed debugging sessions. You review the fix with your morning coffee. This alone is worth the entire plugin ecosystem. Tool number 2: Linear plugin. Connect your issue tracker directly to Codex. It reads tickets, understands priority and context from linked issues and comments, and starts implementing. At OpenAI, this is how they actually work. Every new linear ticket automatically spawns a Codex agent. The agent reads the ticket, pulls context from the codebase, writes the code, runs the tests, and submits a pull request. Ticket to PR, zero human in the loop for the initial implementation. You just review the output. This is the ticket to code pipeline that every engineering team wants, but nobody builds manually. Tool number 3: Playwright Interactive. This is the game changer that nobody talks about. Codex opens a headless browser, navigates to your app, clicks buttons, fills forms, scrolls pages, takes screenshots, and analyzes what it sees. It can visually verify its own work. You build a new page, Codex opens it, checks every element, reports visual bugs, confirms layout works on different viewports. The OpenAI team demoed this building an entire platformer game. Codex generated all the sprites with ImageGen, assembled the game, then used Playwright to open the game in a browser and playtest it. The agent tested its own game. That's the level we're at. Tool number 4: Image Gen Skill. Codex generates visual assets on demand, not through a separate tool, directly in the coding session. Sprites for games, icons for apps, backgrounds, character animations, UI elements. In the OpenAI demo, one prompt built an entire platformer game with custom AI generated sprites, multiple character animation frames, brick platforms, obstacles, backgrounds, all generated and integrated into the code in a single session. No designer needed, no asset marketplace. Codex just creates exactly what the code needs. Combine this with Playwright Interactive, and Codex builds the UI, generates the assets, assembles everything, and tests it in a browser. Tool number 5, Context7 MCP. This solves the single biggest problem with AI coding: outdated documentation. Every AI model is trained on data from months or years ago. When you ask it about the latest React 19 API or the newest Next.js features, it hallucinates. Context 7 connects Codex to live, up to date documentation for any framework in real time: React, Next.js, Tailwind, Supabase, Stripe, whatever you're using. Codex gets the actual current API signatures, not training data from 2024. No more hallucinated function names. No more deprecated methods. No more Stack Overflow debugging, because the AI used an API that doesn't exist anymore. Tool number 6, Chrome DevTools, MCP. Codex plugs directly into Chrome's developer tools. It inspects the DOM structure, reads console errors in real time, checks network requests, analyzes performance metrics. Instead of describing a bug to Codex, there's something wrong with the login button, it sees the bug itself: the exact error message, the exact DOM element, the exact CSS causing the layout shift, the exact API call that's failing. Debug cycles cut in half because you skip the entire back and forth of explaining the problem. Codex sees what you see in Chrome and fixes what it finds. Tool number 7, Brooks Lint. This one is wild. An AI code reviewer that cites actual software engineering books. It reviews your code and doesn't just say, "This function is too long." It says, "This function violates the single responsibility principle." See Clean Code, Chapter 3. Functions should do one thing: do it well, do it only. It references the pragmatic programmer, design patterns, code complete, refactoring, real literature that stood the test of decades. Your code review doesn't just find problems, it teaches you why they're problems, backed by the best engineering thinking ever published. It's like having a senior engineer with a library on their desk, reviewing every line. Tool number 8, Codex Reviewer, a second pass validation tool. After Codex writes code, this runs a completely independent review. Different model, different context, fresh eyes. It catches things the first pass missed: edge cases, security issues, performance problems, inconsistencies with the rest of the code base. At OpenAI, 100% of pull requests across every repository go through automated code review. That's the standard. And it doesn't just look at the diff, it contextualizes changes against the entire code base and finds second order effects in modules you didn't even touch. P critical, P1 should fix, P2 nice to have. Structured, actionable, thorough. Tool number 9, Guardian Approvals. This is the safety tool that lets you stop running in YOLO mode. Right now, most people give Codex unfettered access to do whatever it wants: delete directories, run scripts, expose ports, no checks. Guardian changes that. Before every privileged action, it spins up a sub agent that evaluates whether the action is safe. Delete a temp directory, auto approved, carry on. Run an unknown script from the internet, flagged for human review. Expose a production port, blocked. You get all the power of autonomous coding without the danger. Enable it today with slash experimental. 9 tools, 90 plus plugins, 3 million weekly active users, Sentry for production errors, Linear for ticket to PR, Playwright for visual testing, Image Gen for assets, Context7 for live docs, Chrome DevTools for debugging, Brooks Lint for book backed reviews, Codex Reviewer for second pass validation, Guardian for smart safety. This is not a coding assistant anymore. This is an engineering system. Subscribe for more deep dives. Comment tools for the complete setup guide with install commands for all 9. Smash that like.